Well, I am back here once again. Trying to get myself now in the middle of the screen or wherever I need to be. Gonna do this real quick. Hopefully that was loud enough. Now, welcome to another episode of Finding a Gratitude. Now, I think this is like sixth week that I am putting out a podcast. Now, I am recording this a bit in advance because I'm actually traveling out to Queensland, so I'll be going out to Gold Coast tomorrow. Tomorrow, yeah. Because I've got my mate's birthday happening on Monday, which is what the seventh, I believe. Is it the seventh or the eighth? Man, I'm really bad at this. It is the 7th of Feb, which is my mate's birthday. So I'll be flying out to Queensland tomorrow. Um, actually, I'm actually quite excited to go. So my mate, his birthday is on Monday. Um, I was just gonna surprise him anyway. Like I was just gonna fly out to Gold Coast. But luckily, I didn't have to do that because I was speaking to my friend, Zach, the day before, like 2 days ago now. So today's Saturday. So I was talking to him. No, was it yesterday? Yeah, it was just yesterday, man. So Friday, he messaged me. He's like, "Oh, do you want to come up for my birthday?" And I was like, "Oh shit, perfect. I'm so there." So I mean, I was already thinking of going there anyway. But yeah, so essentially, I gotta go. He's gonna have his birthday on the Monday. But after speaking to him, I'm like, "Hey, like, I wanted to get like an Airbnb, maybe if you want to like, get away for a little bit, get away from the noise, get back into nature, man. Get back outdoors and yeah, I guess like not like recalibrate, but like get out to nature and just um, I guess it in a sense is a bit of like recalibrating, but it's putting yourself out there in a place where you enjoy and love, and man, you get so like positive stuff about it. But he's actually gone away now, so he comes back tomorrow. I'm not too sure. I think he went somewhere around like Ballina or something, so around Byron Bay. So I thought, okay, what else can we do? And then he's like, hey, you know what? Like I've been wanting to do the hot air, the hot, the hot air balloon. So I booked it. So we're going to hot air ballooning on Monday. So romantic, I swear. Shit, like two dudes. I don't know if there might be other people, or yeah, there might be other people also joining us tomorrow. So I mean on Monday. So I can't wait though, man. I can't wait to be out there, man. And like I mean, I'm a bit scared of heights. I'm not gonna lie. Like I do get a bit of vertigo. I think when I was younger it was worse. But then I'm not gonna lie as well. But so I was scared of heights mainly because I would always think about falling, especially when I was in a high place and I looked down, and then the only thing that I could think of at that time was I'm gonna fall. And because of that feeling, I would get scared, and then I get scared of heights. And then when I started training, like 6 years ago now, yeah, essentially 5 years ago, 6 years ago now, and like I gained upper body strength, right? Because the training that I was doing CrossFit workouts. I was training in a CrossFit class, and some movements involve pull-ups. So I was building a lot of upper body strength. So I don't know if other people are the same like as me, or maybe this is just completely weird. But as I got stronger, and as I was managed to hold myself together and be able to do pull-ups and stuff, um, I just felt more confident. So when I was up in a high place and I looked down, I wouldn't get as scared because I wouldn't be too scared of falling, because if like in my head I'd be like, okay, if I was to trip and maybe fall, I have enough strength to be able to like, I guess it like even with your reactions, like I would be like, okay, I think I have quick reactions now, and I have the strength. So if I was to fall, I'll be able to catch myself and be able to hold myself up. So if I was to hold, like if I was eventually to fall from the high place that I am looking down, I'd be able to hold myself up and pull myself up to get over that. Um, and yeah, it's crazy, but I think like even just thinking about that, just by me knowing that, you know, I feel comfortable in the position that I am because if I was to fall, I can catch myself, kind of thing. It kind of made me be less scared of heights. I don't know if that made any sense, but it's the truth, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like that's how I 100% felt. And thinking about it now, my fear of heights was because I was scared of falling. So any way to go around it, I guess my fear of heights kind of just starts to go away. But yeah, so man, I can't wait for Monday. Monday's his birthday. The only other, the only, the only shit thing is though that we're gonna have to wake up so early. So yeah, I think we have to be at the meeting point at like 4:15, and from his house to there, it takes like half an hour. So we got to leave like at 3:30 essentially, 3:30 in the morning, because I think we're gonna try to obviously. I think they try to catch the sunrise, and the sunrise might be like 6:40 or something. So I think we get picked up quarter past four, 4:20. Maybe have a cheeky vape. Who knows what happens? But yeah, most likely that'll happen. Um, and yeah, I guess the trip would be like an hour for the car to pick us up and take us to the location. And I am fucking excited. I'm a bit scared because I'm a bit scared of heights, but overall I'm fucking excited. Like starting your day, especially because it's gonna be Monday, so start of the week. Starting your day, starting your week, on essentially on top of the world because you're gonna be in a hot air balloon. You're gonna be on top of everything, and just appreciating the beauty of life, man, from up top. Like just in getting incredible views. Fuck, I can't wait. Like that's outweighing the fear of heights, I guess, that I have. So that's gonna be happening. So I'm fucking excited to be traveling out to Queensland to Gold Coast tomorrow. I'm gonna take a camera. I'm also gonna take my audio recorder, my H6. And gonna try and maybe sneak in one or two podcasts with a few of the people that I know from Queensland, man. So that might be on the works. So maybe the next two episodes, who knows? It might be in Queensland. But I'm also excited for that, man, because I'm gonna be able to, you know, bring up and share experiences from others, which we're gonna be able to help other people because I guess we've all like, bro, we all go through shit, and at some points it may seem like that we're the only ones that go through it, but I'm telling you right now, most of us go through the same shit. It might be painted in a different way, like in a different scenario, but essentially we all go through the same shit. We all go through the same, motions of emotions and how we deal with ourselves because of the situations that arises. So I'm so keen for that, man, because I'm going to be able to bring out more people. And man, like this might sound, I don't know how this is going to sound, but I feel like in Queensland, I know more people that similar to me in the type of sense. I guess in the path that I kind of am on. In New South Wales, yeah, I have I do have heaps of mates here. I don't even like saying heaps of mates, but I do have, a fair bit of mates, close mates as well, because I've known them for ages, like, primary school mates, high school mates, but I guess they're not into the same thing that I'm kind of into. Obviously, as you grow older, you learn more about yourself, and then you start to pay more attention, but also start to spend more time in things that you enjoy. So, if you enjoy doing a particular activity, which let's just say swimming, you're going to go swimming at a pool, you're going to get maybe some classes, you're going to meet the trainer, you're going to meet other people at the pool as well. So then even though, you're like really good friends, like let's say your high school mates, you're kind of like not going to try to say that, you're going to get distant from them, but in a sense you kind of might be getting distant from them because you're going to be chasing your own passions. And if your high school mates or your mates don't have the same passion, then I guess you're going to stop talking to them in a sense. But yeah, I don't even know what I was going to that. But yeah, so that's why I'm just so keen to get out there in Queensland and film some podcasts, man. And it's gonna be a good time. I think I'm only going for 3 days. I'm flying out on Sunday, which is tomorrow, and I'm flying back on Tuesday morning. Yes, essentially I'll be out for 3 days. Is it 3 days? I'm not too sure. Yeah, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So yeah, 3 days, 4 nights, I believe, man. fucking excited. I think that's pretty much everything that's been going throughout the week. The last time I did the podcast was 5 days ago, so not much has changed. I did have I did get a nice message from one of my clients recently, and he pretty much says that he likes my editing and my sense of impulse. And I only received a text message. I think it was earlier today. Today's Saturday, right? Yeah, it was today when I got this message, and it's like, bro, fucking love your sense of impulse, love your fucking work. Um, and the way that I replied was just like, hey, like, thanks for your kind words. And I'm gonna be honest, but I feel like I am in a such a happy place in my life, which is translating to my work. And then there's this quote that Gary Vee says in this video that I always watch, where he's like, when you're happy in life, your fucking business can roll. So obviously, if you're happy in life, your business is gonna be good as well. So, man, I don't know. I took that message. I saw it. I was like, fuck yeah. I just felt like, I'm in such a good place right now that it's translating to my work because I'm happy and everything I'm doing is positively happy, I guess, or it's been, put out as a positive thing. I don't know, man, but yeah, getting texts from clients saying that they like my work is it's so rewarding, eh? And to think about it as well, like if I was to think about how I started and all that, like I started doing videos for myself and I was posting out on YouTube. And in my head, I was posting out videos thinking that, maybe one day, a couple years from now, I might have a YouTube channel that is successful and is paying somewhat of the bills, I guess. So even having that mentality, I was doing my videos to kind of help myself. And then when others started to see my videos and businesses were like, hey, why can you do this for me? Can you do that for that for me? Can you do that? Can you make a video for me? Can you make a video for my business? My mentality towards it just changed from instead of helping me, I'm going to help these people. So even when I talk to people and they ask me like, oh, what do you actually enjoy doing? I just like what I actually tell them is just that I enjoy helping people. Yeah, I might be in the media industry at the moment, but I'm helping people get their brand out there. If I'm, making some videos for the brand or just to create brand awareness, or essentially it's just me helping people, man. And I fucking love that because I think I just want to help as many people as I can. And I think that's the same way that I'm kind of trying to take on with this podcast. Like, I'm going to be talking about my experiences, about the shit that I go through, about I'm going to have other guests and other people that tell me about, what they're going through and stuff. And in a sense, by us talking about it, I'm hoping that it actually helps you as well. Yeah, man. And like for me, I guess it's just the passion that comes with it. Like I was so passionate. I remember like 5 years ago when I just started and I was doing YouTube and then I was like, okay, how can I grow on YouTube? Let me search other YouTubers. So I would be on YouTube every single day typing cine vloggers, cine YouTubers, ongoing, constantly trying to look for, results that'll come up from like with other people in the area or just in Sydney in general or in Australia in general, man, who are kind of similar to me and are posting videos online. And then I met a few people. I was also looking up on Meetup. I met a few people through Meetup. There was a YouTube creators Facebook group as well that I ended up joining. And man, I was just so passionate about it. I just used to love helping people. That I used to love what I was doing. That I was so passionate about it, and that's so like rare. Like people could just tell. I remember like meeting new people, and they're like, "Fuck, bro, you're so passionate about what you do. It feels like like it feels like you're gonna kill it." And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" Like that's the energy I'm trying to put out because I want to get there. And I think there was a lot of things that I actually wanted to talk about in this podcast, and I wasn't too sure what to talk about. One of them was like how I started and going to talk about that stuff. But I think I'm not gonna touch too much on that because yeah, I don't think it's time today for me to go and tell you how I started and how I got into a position where I am, where I can, record these podcasts and stuff like that. But it not be today. The other topic that I wanted to touch on was at my mate's wedding. So just last week, I was chatting to one of my mates, and I was saying that I have I have problems with doubt, especially when uploading stuff online. And they were surprised. They were like, "But you've put out so much content online, like on YouTube, that to me it seems like you don't give a fuck about anything, and you don't care about what other people think, and you don't have any doubt, and you just fucking do." And I'm just like, nah, it's actually the complete opposite. Like, taking it back to when I was uploading daily videos, when I was doing the Hard Work Pays Off training program. Every single day I would edit, and every single day when I'm about to upload the video, I would always used to be like, I always used to just have the doubt. I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, what are other people going to think about my videos? It was obviously like this doubt was obviously stronger at the beginning, because it's like, why am I doing this? Like, what are other people going to think about me? Is this even good enough? Like, is the content that I'm putting out good enough? There's so many questions, that it would go through your head, and to me, it'll happen every single day because I'm uploading content every single day. And it was hard. Like, some days it was hard. Some days I'm like, I don't feel like, especially after watching my video and then being like, oh, this is a pretty average video. Like, I'm not teaching anything. Like, I don't know. And then I would just get so into my head, and especially after vaping, I guess. And I mean, you can get into your head sometimes, and I would get into my head fucking all the time, and I'll just be like, fuck, do I really want to post this video? Do I really want to post this video? And at the end of the day, I just had to do it because, I set my goal that I was going to put 84 videos in a row, and then I had to keep to it because that was my goal. I didn't want to miss a day. So I guess the way that I was trying to battle that thought of doubt, and I'll be honest with you guys, like, I still have that doubt. Like, I did 84 videos in a row on YouTube. I put out 84 videos every single day. Every single day, I probably had the doubt. And, you will think that after posting so many videos, you'll finally get to a place where you're comfortable with yourself, where you don't care what you put out. But it's the complete opposite. I still have those doubts. Even to this day, sometimes I would obviously I have to rewatch my podcast because this is not cut live or anything. So I actually rewatch it and I cut it as I'm watching it. And, there's been some episodes where I finished this and I'm like, do I even make sense? Like, and then the other thing is like, is the content that I'm putting out good enough? That, like, are people gonna like get something from it? I still have those thoughts, man. Every single time I post something, I always have to doubt. And I guess I wanted to bring this up because I kind of got shocked at the idea that my mate thought I was the complete opposite because I'm posting out so many videos. I talk about, stuff like in my experiences, going through this, going through that, taking these substances and whatnot. That it made me think, okay, well, how many people out there actually think that I don't have this doubt in my mind? How many people out there actually think that, you know, I feel like I can post about anything and feel comfortable with it? It's like, fuck, like, there's probably a lot of people out there, they think, oh, this guy, because he's posting out videos all the time, especially every week, that he doesn't have doubt. But man, I have fucking doubts. I have constant doubts all the time. And I guess through the 84 videos that I was posting out, how I how I manage and control the doubt a little bit was just by keep doing it. Like, it might sound dumb, but essentially by doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it, it just, I wasn't second guessing myself anymore. And then the other thing that I started doing was not to watch back the videos that I was posting. I know it may seem like you shouldn't do that because what happens if you made a mistake? I just got into the rhythm where I was like, edit it, boom, let's put it out. And if there was any mistakes, then I can just redo it, I guess. But I wouldn't rewatch it until it was uploaded. And I guess that, in a sense, was helping me to get rid of the doubt. a little bit though, because the doubt was still there. There's been other ways that I've tried to get rid of that pattern, that behavioral pattern that we get once we have doubt in our heads. Because once the doubt comes into our heads, it's hard to get out of it because there's more thoughts around it at that time now. So it's like there's this book that I was reading, which is by Dr. C. Lilly, Programming and Metaprogramming the Human Biocomputer, which essentially talks about how to reprogram your brain and your behaviors with the use of substances like LSD and ketamine. So I was starting to read that, and I was trying to get around my head on it. The book is it's real tough to. I haven't finished it yet. I'm probably pretty much halfway. It's real tough to finish though. I'm probably like reading 4 books at the moment. Funny enough, I've just started reading another book, but the book's really good because it also shows you like formulas in a sense of ways where you can get into your head. So there was a technique that he uses where he puts himself and he makes it seem like he's looking himself in the mirror, but he's not. It's mental thing. So he would have LSD, 25G, and he would like lie down. This is Dr. Silili. Dr. Silili as well. I think he created saltwater tanks. Just trying to, yeah, he was a crazy dude. I should probably read more. I mean, I should probably talk more about the book. So I think he was a doctor who was paid by the government, like the American government, to study how they could control animal brains. So then I think they started to do this training with donkeys where they would give them LSD and other psychoactive compounds, psychedelics as well, to try to control the donkey so they can tell it where to go, because they wanted to put bombs in the donkey, guide it where to go, and then blow those bombs up. And then once he found that out, he just left it. But yeah, like he was involved with some crazy research. Like they were giving LSD and other psychoactive psychedelic compounds to dolphins as well, man. And yeah, it's fucking crazy and it's intense. Like fucking read. I love reading about that stuff. But yeah, so essentially, I was reading this book, and it was giving me, different techniques and ways on how I could get into my head and try to get rid of or try to stop those behavioral patterns that like comes up. So for me, it was doubt. I was trying to get rid of doubt. Trying to get rid of that doubt, but it's hard, man. It was fucking hard. I didn't manage to do it, but I was I kind of managed to just not have too much doubt by just making sure or realizing that there was a bigger purpose for the content that I was putting out. And then a couple months go past, I started reading. It was only just last month I started reading How to Be Disliked, The Courage to Be Disliked. And in that book, it talks about how like we can get doubt if we keep comparing ourselves to everyone else, because it essentially talks about problems, right? And I'm pretty sure I've mentioned about this before, but essentially it says that all problems come from interpersonal relationships. So it's because we are kind of comparing to one another that problems arise. Right, that's just one take on it, because it doesn't even have to be comparing. It could just be like you have a disagreement with someone and then you have a problem because of it, right? And then it gives you the example of if you were alone in the universe, you wouldn't have any problems. You wouldn't even know what a problem was, or like you wouldn't even have created the problem. Like you wouldn't have created a word that describes problems because you wouldn't have any other, like you just wouldn't have any problems because there's no one else except for yourself. And thinking about that, it kind of put things into perspective as well, especially when it comes to the idea of doubt for me, right? So whenever I think about doubt, I try to go one thing like just try to go more in depth. So I question it. It's like, why do I have this doubt? And then I'll answer myself and be like, because I think about what others are going to think about this video. So I'm thinking about the judgment that people are going to have because of the content that I'm putting out. right? The other thing would be I have doubt because I feel like this video is not good enough, right? And then essentially, I was answering all these questions that kept coming up when I was like, why don't I want to post? Why am I in doubt? And it's like it all has to do with other people. And it's got to do with me comparing myself to other people. So as soon as I switched the thought from thinking that everyone else was comparing to me and more thinking about them as comrades, like let's say that we are all going to battle, like we're all going to war somewhere, and they're all my friends, and we are all together because we're trying to achieve the common goal. And by thinking that, then those problems that my head was getting to, because of the doubt, was starting to go away, because it's like, okay, so I have doubt because I'm thinking about what the other person's going to think about me if I put this content up. But if they're my comrade and we are together in a team, then that person's not going to have those thoughts of me. Do you know what I mean? Instead, they're going to be more encouraging to me to be posting more content about it. Right. And then the other way, the other example that I gave was that the content's not good enough, right? And then it's like, okay, well, what is good enough? Like, what do you mean that it's not good enough? Like, if I'm putting it out, I'm just gonna keep getting better at the content that I'm putting out, right? But then, good enough to who, right? It's not good enough for other people. Why? Because again, it's just comparing yourself to these other people and thinking that your content needs to be really good so people can enjoy it. And it's like, well, if they're all my friends and we're not in competition with each other, then the content that I put out, again, it's going to be motivating for them, and they're going to be more encouraging for me, or they're going to be more encouraging to me to be posting more stuff. So man, it's just understanding. It's just that self-awareness that comes from questioning. And then funny enough, like I was even talking to my mom earlier today, because I went to visit her, because I dropped off my niece at her house because she's going to be taking care of her for the day. And this is off script, and this is funny enough. And I was talking to her, and then she was talking to me about she has different groups on WhatsApp with different people. Some of them are like religious groups, I guess, and some of they are just the mates and whatnot. But she was telling me about, there was this one religious group that she's in, where one person was asking mum, like, oh, so you do this like, she was asking her about a different group, which is like a different religion in a sense, like a group that they talk about. It's hard to explain, I guess. Like, I guess my mom, to explain it better, mom is in a group where all the members, or majority of the members, are like from Saint Letterman. I don't even know what religion that is, man. It's not that. It's a different religion, right? And then my mom shared like a post about Christianity, or no, it would have been Catholic stuff, right? And then this other person was inquiring how can she join this other group that she was posting this other stuff about, and then shit just fucking broke loose. Like, the actual leader of the group, of the WhatsApp group, was like, oh, how can you try to convert? Like, she was just losing it at essentially mum, because she had posted something that had to do with a different religion, and then mum was just starting to realize that, fuck, like, yeah, she might be a leader of this religion, or of this face, or of this WhatsApp group, but she doesn't show it. And it was funny because she's like, "Fuck!" Like, I'm only starting to understand, that people have, I guess, like different motives and stuff in the background. But I was telling her that, and then she's like, "How can I make this person realize that what she was doing is wrong, and like she should be accepting everyone for who they are, like even if it's for a different religion or whatnot?" And I'm like, look, for me, what works for me when I speak to other people is making them realize something for themselves. So it's always questioning why. Like, okay, so she started going off because mum posted about something and the other person was asking about it, and it's like, why are you going off? Like, why do you not feel like it's okay for someone to post about this religion? And And to, trying to touch base with what I was mentioning before, it's like, man, like we should always be having, like we should always be questioning ourselves onto why we do things, because I feel like that's the only way that we're going to learn more about ourselves. So every single time, not every single time, but I'm always trying to be like a third person perspective, like especially when I'm put in a situation, and then I see how I react to things. Like if someone yells at me for something, and then I immediately, get angry, I try to go to that third person view, and I'm like, wait, why am I actually getting angry? So it's always that, questioning myself with what's going on, and making me self aware. And I think a lot of people don't have that. Like a lot of people just act. They're always in the acting mood. They just act, 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 act. That they don't actually think about. Like, why am I doing this? Like, why did I get angry at this person? Be- because what, they started yelling at me. But why do I have to react this way? And I don't know, man. I feel like maybe cannabis has definitely helped me with asking myself those type of questions, because at some points I'll get so into my head where I'll just be lying in bed baked as fuck, and I'm just like trying to, or like just reliving the whole day, and I'm like, why did I do this? Oh, I can't believe I did that. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. And I feel like because of it, it's making me more self-aware of different things, of how I feel, and how I feel impacts other people, and how other people feel impacts me. And it's so fucking crazy, man. So like, if I was to, try to wrap that little segment that I was talking about, it's just asking yourself more questions, man. Just ask yourselves more questions. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I reacting to like this? And when you ask those questions, you're gonna try to answer them truthfully, especially, if it's just you and yourself, like, and you're not faced with other people. And even if you were talking to someone about it and they ask you, why are you doing this? Why does it make you feel like that? I think we should just always be trying to answer them honestly, because we know our truth. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so like me asking those type of questions definitely helped me get out of my head and try to get rid of the doubt, and just continue to post, man, because information, knowledge is power. The stuff that I put out. Oh, do you like my little sticker that my niece gave me? So, like the information, the knowledge that we're trying to put out, it's gonna be beneficial for other people, man. It's gonna be even beneficial for me, even if no one watches this, and it's just me watching this type of videos. 5 years from now, I'm gonna be like, holy shit, that's the way that I used to think back then. This is the way that I think now, and it's just completely different. And being able to watch myself doing this, I'm learning so much about myself as well. Um, so it's all beneficial, man. Like that's why I'm just gonna keep pushing out content, and I'm slowly but surely I'll get to a point where I'm not gonna be judging myself as much. And it's crazy to think that, like, I guess other influencers would go through this as well. Like, imagine if I had 10,000 subscribers. Imagine if I had 10,000 viewers in one video, and then I'm there thinking, fuck, what are these 10,000 people thinking about this video? Like, and if I have constantly 10,000 viewers, I'm like, I gotta make sure my content is good enough for my 10,000 viewers that I get on every video. Ah, man, I guess it's more and more. It's just gonna. But until then, until we get to that point, I haven't put too much thought about it. But when I get to that point, I'll be open about it, and I'll tell you guys, like, what I do to help me out of that. So yeah, man, and I guess on that as well, segueing to another topic that I wanted to bring up. I know this episode might be a bit all over the place. I essentially had 4 dot points that I just wanted to chat about. The other thing was, how do we keep ourselves motivated, right? Because going back to me putting out 84 videos, right, essentially I was training 6 days a week. How did I even keep myself motivated to train 6 days a week? And the training as well was fucking intense. Like some days we would train for like 3 hours because, or even 4 hours because there would be like a 60-minute bike or like a 60-minute run or a 60-minute road like at the end of the workout. And how did I keep myself motivated through all that stuff, man? And like, to be honest, like I kept myself motivated to be to actually working out was because I actually enjoyed doing it. So I guess for me to stay motivated at something, you actually need to love what you do. And I'm so glad and I'm so lucky that I put myself in a position where I actually enjoy what I do. So I'm constantly feeling motivated and I'm doing what I do. But if at times I feel out of sync and I feel unmotivated to do something, um, I feel like going out to nature helps me so much. There's something about the stillness, there's something about the beauty of nature that gets rid of all the doubt. Because I feel like maybe we feel unmotivated to do things because we have doubt in our heads, we have too much judgment onto why we need to do it or why we should do that. So I feel like getting perspective definitely helps. And by me going out to nature, puts me into a rhythm, puts me into a sync where I'm just like, bruh, nothing matters. Like literally nothing fucking matters. Like all these doubts that I have, all these thoughts that I have, like at the end of the day, they don't really mean shit, man. Fuck, that's literally going deep. Like the amount of times I've taken psychedelics and come to the same conclusion that nothing fucking matters. So we might like fuck. Even just thinking about that, that nothing matters, it puts me in a mood where it's like fuck it, I can create whatever the fuck I want, and it's gonna be all fine as long as I just keep creating. I guess in a sense, like I'm gonna be okay. So for me, and I guess for other people might be different. You know, like for some people is running, some other people is walking, doing different activities. But something that I just started reading this as well. What happened to you? Conversations on Trauma, Resilience, and Healing by Bruce D. Perry and Oprah. Essentially, it's a conversation with the doctor and Oprah, just talking about what happened to you, child trauma, and stuff like that. But what I was trying to get at was that yeah, so some other people, you know, they like when they feel unmotivated, when they feel out of sync, they do things that they enjoy to try to put them in sync. And then this book actually is talking about rhythm, though, like actually doing things like not with a rhythm, but doing things. I don't know how to explain it, man. Um, Talks about how rhythm is regulating. So if you're out of sync, you're unmotivated, right? If you put rhythm back into your life, you're gonna get you're gonna start to regulate everything with just your mental state and your physical being. And then they kind of give an example of like when a baby is crying, right? And if you see a baby crying, you kind of start to get upset and you want to make that baby feel better, especially if you're the parent. So if you're a parent, what are you going to do? You can either leave them alone and just, you know, that's I think that's a parenting technique that was brought up maybe 50 years ago, or you can pick up your child and you know, start like moving the child in a way that it's trying to follow a soothing rhythm, right? And then if that doesn't work, then you start walking at a pace to try to calm the child. And then once the child gets calmed, then you also calm yourself. So, you know, like even just talking about that, it makes me think like, fuck, okay, so it's about rhythm. And then since child, we're kind of programmed, right, by our parents, if especially like our parents used to pick us up when we were crying, when we were upset, and, you know, gave us rhythm or like put us in the rhythm sense or in a sense where there's rhythm, and that in a sense it's calming. That's why they say that even listening to waves crash, it's following the rhythm, and that's also calming. So me going to nature calms my mind, which is regulating my rhythm. just the stillness from it. So I guess what I'm trying to say is just like we should find something that we enjoy to bring that rhythm back into our life. And then once our life is kind of aligned, then we won't be as motivated, as unmotivated. We will actually be motivated to do things, I guess, right? And then all the doubt will kind of slowly go away because you found rhythm again. You're like back in sync with your own life. Man, and then also from reading What Happened to You, man. So they talk about, changing the question that we question ourselves. Uh, it's a it's a really good point that I should probably bring back. Give me 1 second. So he's like the doctor's changing the question from what's wrong with me to what happened to me. And just from reading this book, man, I'm starting to question myself that, right? Because if I think about going through chemotherapy, how has that affected me mentally and physically? Because in a sense, I guess getting chemo is somewhat of a traumatic experience for the body and for the mind as well. So I'm starting to question myself about that, and I'm starting to learn more about myself because of it. Because it's like, what happened to me? And I guess there's some things that are dark, I guess. And the more I question it, the more light that is going to come up, and then I'm going to be able to bring it up as much as more, and then I guess hopefully to teach you guys. But essentially, man, I guess reading is fucking so good. I'm starting to question more about what happened to me, instead of, and I guess sometimes we can think of like, why did this happen to me? And I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but just by changing the thought of what's wrong with me, especially when I'm sad, I guess, and then I'm like, fuck, what's wrong with me? That's gonna make me even. It's gonna put me. It's just not gonna work. It's not gonna be healthy. But if I start questioning, what happened to me, and start to realize that, okay, maybe I'm acting this way because of this that happened that way. Do you know what I mean? Oh man. And I guess the last thing I wanted to touch on about, I've had I've had this conversation a few times now in the past couple of weeks with a few mates and even with the clients, where I feel like, okay, well, I should probably give some context. So this this conversation comes up. I was with my mates and we are talking about fuck, like especially because one of my mates' parents is about to sell their house. Their house goes in auction, I think, in next week, and hopefully they're gonna make, or they're gonna get like 2 mil for the property. Nice apartment, nice area next to the beach. So probably they're gonna get 2 mil, man. And like, thinking about that, and we're talking about buying houses, and it's fucking hard to buy a house. They made it almost impossible to buy a house here in Sydney, Australia. Not gonna lie, like it's fucking hard. And then we started talking about it, and it's like fuck, like I feel like now, like our generation now, don't even think about buying a house. Like I feel like 20, 30, 40 years ago, like the thing was to work hard, buy a house. Maybe this is also coming from an immigrant kind of background where, your parents are sacrificing their own life for a better world for yourself. So you need to, make yourself something, or like make something out of yourself. So, working and buying a property, buying a house. So I feel like back then, uh, people would think about the future a lot. Like we'll think about, okay, I can only work till I'm 60, let's say, thereabouts, or 70 max. And what am I going to do after that? Okay, you know what? If I buy a house, because super back then, it wasn't a thing, right? I'm pretty sure super has only been, in Australia at least, super's only been here for maybe like 30 years or something like that. There was no such thing as super prior to that. So The whole idea was like, let's buy a house, and then if I was to retire or when I'm older and I'm not working anymore, I can sell it and then have enough money to, enjoy the rest of my life, like retired. Or just have the house and pass it on to my kids. So I think back then people were thinking more about the future, whereas now, right, people are they're so more focused in the now. Like, how many people that are in the same similar age group that actually own a house, or that are thinking of buying a house? I don't know. For me, it's very small. For me, like, all my mates didn't like. One, it's fucking hard to buy a house now. Like, you literally need to be with someone, so have a partner that you can go halves in. Because if it's just one person, unless you're making bank, it's going to be way too hard to buy a house somewhere in Sydney. Obviously, you can buy cheaper houses the further you go out of Sydney. But then again, do you want to be living out there? No, I don't think so. But yeah, so going back to what I was saying before, like, how many people actually that actually own a house or are thinking of buying a house? For me, it's like very minimal, man. Like 10% probably of the people that I know actually own a house or are wanting to buy a house. The rest are so more focused in the now. I feel like globally, it I feel like it is a good thing, but obviously, if it's a good thing, it also has a bad side to it. You know what I mean? Like complementary opposites. It always happens. So I feel like, yeah, now we're more conscious about the now. We're trying to live in the now that we forget about the future. So that's why I feel like majority of the people now are thinking about, nah, like, I don't want to, put money aside and fucking save up for a house. I'd rather go out, travel, and do this and do that, rather than saving up money for a house. So I feel like that's that's just the global conscious that we're at right now. I don't know if it's a bad thing or like a good thing. I guess it could be vice versa, because it's good to be living in the present moment. And for me, man, like, I mean, the titles of my other videos is like possession, experiences over possessions. So, like, I'll rather spend my money, especially going through cancer, and being put in a position where I have to think about death. And it's like, bruh, you might die tomorrow. And if you were to die tomorrow, if I was to own a house, I'm not gonna take that house with me. I'm not gonna take my possessions with me. You know what I mean? Like, what's gonna happen to that? It's obviously gonna be left for other people. So I'd rather spend my money now and just get more experiences, man. And for me, that's a positive. But for other people, they might wanna, you know, focus more on the future things. And like I said, there's no right and wrong answer to anything. Like, for me, there's no right and wrong answer to anything. The only thing is the meaning that we give it, the meaning, or the value that we give to things. Because we give value to, like, words, and yeah. So there's no good or bad things for me, man. It's just easy. It's just all neutral. Man, I think that's all I'm going to be talking about. I'm just reading my notes to make sure I covered it all. Like, I wanted to recap a little about my week. My week has been quite short. Like I said, it was 5 days ago that I did a podcast. I talked about how I'm going to Queensland, man. I can't fucking wait. Fuck yeah, man. Hot air ballooning, and then hopefully recording more podcasts. I can't fucking wait. And then, I touched based on getting a nice message from a client saying that, bruh, I love your work. And I'm like, bruh, I think that my work is good now because I'm so happy in life. So if I was trying to make you learn something from that, it would be that once you find your passion, once you find something you actually enjoy doing, and if you're happy in life, your fucking business can roll. Taken straight from Gary Vee. And it's true, man. It's true, because I can think of, me working for Westpac, which I used to work before. And I was hating life. I legit was hating life. I was not happy at all. And then the energy that I guess that I brought in with work and the energy that gets passed on to work, oh man, it was draining. It was draining. And now I am happy and I do things and other people can see it and other people can appreciate it more. Like, because I feel like I'm actually, doing something that I'm passionate about. And what I'm passionate about is helping people. And I help people with media. And now I'm doing podcasts, which hopefully I'm hoping that I'm helping other people as well. And like, you know, it's just this type of conversations that you won't usually have, or you might have this type of conversations with yourself, but sometimes you just need to remember. And hopefully this is helping. Like just me having a casual conversation with you, telling you what's going on, what's been going in my mind, and stuff like that. And then I talked about, doubt. Like I don't want people to think out there that I have no doubt and I don't think about what other people are going to think about me because I put out content and it seems like I don't care, but I actually do care. I probably even care even more than you sometimes. But I do it because I see the bigger picture. I see that the work that I'm doing, the stuff that I'm putting out is beneficial for everyone. And like I said in last week's podcast, man, it's para el bien de todos, bro. Like for the good of all. Like that is the bigger picture that I'm just trying to help everyone else for the good of all. Like fit for service. I'm trying to be fit for service so I can help as many people as I can. So that's the bigger picture that I always have in my mind when I have doubt, when I have doubt on putting out content. And then the other thing is not comparing myself to others, touching base on that again. Like I don't compare myself. I'm not going to be like, oh, that person's not going to like my content because they think they're better than me, in a sense. When no, it's not like that. They're actually going to be motivating me to be doing more content because I'm not comparing myself with them anymore. They're actually in my team and we're all trying to win. And I guess that's a trait that we should all somehow pick up. And for me, I picked it up because I started reading a specific book that was teaching me about, the psychology that happens to us as we're growing up and how it stays with us through our lives. And yeah, man. And then the other thing that I touched on about it was feeling unmotivated, bro. If you're feeling unmotivated, what I would suggest for you to do is do stuff that you actually enjoy doing. Go out there, go out there and and just have some fun. Like if you like dancing, go out and dance. If you like swimming, go out and swim. If you like running, go out and run. Like for me, perfectly would be going out to nature, maybe eating some mushrooms. It's fucking some psilocybin, but there's always more purpose when I do psilocybin. So not really doing psilocybin, but just going out to nature and just paying attention to the stillness and the beauty, and that just brings me back in sync. And because I think, like I said, like nothing really matters, man. Like we get so caught up in our own head, in our own thoughts that fuck, I shouldn't have said this, I shouldn't have done that, I shouldn't have done this, I shouldn't have uploaded this, I shouldn't have done that. And bruh, within a week, those thoughts are gonna be gone. Like it does not fucking matter unless you obviously do something that is extremely bad or like you think is extremely bad. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, like within a year, like those thoughts are just gonna slowly go away, and shit's just not gonna matter, man. Shit is not gonna matter. So for me to, when I feel unmotivated or when I feel out of sync, I go out to nature. Find out what it is that that actually works for you. And then once you find that out, always do it when you feel out of sync or when you feel unmotivated. And yeah, when you come back, like if it's, let's say, running, you go for a run, you come back and you're like, fuck, you know what? I actually feel good. And then again, like if we were to think on like on a chemical level, if you go for a run, you get endorphins get released, all these other chemicals gets released and just puts you in a feel good state. Me going out to nature, chemicals get released, puts me in a feel good state. If you're constantly doing things that you actually enjoy doing, chemicals are gonna keep coming out of your fucking brain or whatever it comes out of, and it's just gonna make you feel good. You know what I mean? What is it? Is it like your serotonin as well that gets released? and it's, it just makes you feel good. You can create somewhat of imbalances though, and then I guess that's why things can get addictive. So if you enjoy eating and you get those feel good chemicals being released every time you eat, you're gonna, your brain is gonna be smart enough to be like, you need food, and then you start binge eating because it's making you feel good, because of those chemicals that gets released, and then that in a sense becomes addictive. So you're always craving those good good feel chemicals. So you're gonna keep eating, and that's just one example, right? You can get addicted to anything. It could be drugs that you get addicted to it. You're not essentially getting addicted to the substance, but you're getting addicted. Your brain's getting addicted to the chemicals that get released onto yourself. Uh, so your body's getting addicted to that. So that's why you keep doing it. It's just a cycle. And man, like, what else did I talk about? Thinking people. Yeah, I feel like people nowadays are so more present, and they just think more about the now, that they're not thinking of the future. And then because of that, they're not, thinking about buying a house and not thinking about things like that. It could be good or bad, but I just wanted to bring it up because it could be a conversation that you guys have with your friends and whatnot. And I was gonna say something. No, I just forgot. I should probably say this. Like, there's days that I feel like shit, that I don't want to do anything, that I feel unmotivated. Some days I wake up and I'm like, I don't want to do anything. I just want to stay in bed. And I'm not here to tell you guys that that's a bad thing, right? Listen to your body. Listen to your heart. It's funny because now that I'm reading What Happened to You, it talks about how we as humans don't think about our hearts as much, but our heart is the main reason why we are fucking alive. It's constantly beating. I don't know, 100,000 beats per day or whatever. And like, we're not conscious about it. And that's an organ as well. And bro, like, I feel like maybe we should be more conscious about our heart, just as much as we care about our mental health, right? And I guess that's why we care about our health. But yeah, like, we think about our health as being healthy in general, but not specifically just the heart. So get more in tune with yourselves. Like, pay attention to yourselves and know. So like, sometimes when you wake up and you don't want to do shit, you want to stay in bed and do nothing because you don't fucking feel unmotivated to do anything, then fucking just do it. The next day, if it's kind of, the same thing, then that's when I'll start to think about, okay, I need to start doing the things that I like. And for me, it's going out to nature and getting experiences. And then once I start to do that, I start to get in sync again. I start to get, in a flow, not essentially in a flow state, but I start to get in sync. I start to feel good about myself, and I start to get motivated to do shit again. So I think that's how I want to, or like, that's what I want to leave you with. Like, think about things that you enjoy doing. Think about it. Think about the stuff that you actually really, really enjoy doing. It could be reading a book. It could be something simple, going for a run. It could be something simple, going for a hike. The next time you feel unmotivated, or if you just feel out of sync, do those things. Do those things that you like and see how you feel. And if that changes your mind state, there you go. Keep doing that. And with that, man, I think I'm just going to wrap up the podcast for today. Like I always say, fucking, I hope everyone's having a fantastic day or night, whatever time it may be that you're watching or listening to this podcast. And I guess, like, I ended it last week and I said I wanted to keep doing it. We'll see how we go. But let's breathe, man. Because breath is so important, and it puts us back in sync with our heart to, start beating at a specific rate. Calms you down. We want to be calmer because obviously when we get anxious, when we stress, that creates trauma, that creates sickness, and essentially when we're stressed, our heart rate goes up. So let's try to keep our heart rate down by just breathing, man. Pay attention to your breath, pay attention to your heart, pay attention to your body, pay attention to your mind, and just keep questioning yourself shit, man. That's why I love doing myself. Like, every time I'm like, fuck, I did this. Why did I do this? Question yourself, man. But I'm gonna do this 5 breaths. You can join in with me. Simple 5 breaths through the nose. Sorry, breathe in through the nose, breathe out through the mouth, really, really deep 5 times, and it'll change the mood that you're in. Because if you're in a stress environment, if you're feeling stress, just do the work. Just breathe. All right, I'm gonna put this down and I'm gonna do 5 breaths. Wow, instantly just puts me in a such light mood. Like I feel like light as a feather. I feel so relaxed. I feel so calm. Like anyone can come up with a problem, and I'll just be like, chill, it's fine. Isn't that how you want to feel? I mean, like this is how I want to feel. Fuck. All right, guys. I'm gonna end it. I love you guys. Love you all. I'll speak to you guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.